funds that will go to the state police commission must be guaranteed by the Constitution and go directly to the commission, so that what we are seeing today with regard to local government funds, we don't have to see it with the police, because if we do that, then for people like us who come from the southeast, where in 2 or 3 kilometers you see 10 checkpoints, you will now have 100 checkpoints by state people who will have to fend for themselves if they don't have the requisite funding. My name is Enyinnaya Abaribe. I represent Abia South. Thank you, our dear leader, for exposing everything about the state police. Mr. President, I used to be one of those that is against state police. Mark my words, I used to be. But today, we know that we have very serious insecurity problem that can only be solved by thinking outside the box. And I think that this is part of it. But our issue on this is actually what goes into the Police Act. It's not really the amendment of the Constitution, because you can amend the Constitution, but then in the Act, matters of usage of the police is where most Nigerians are bothered about. The mover of the lead debate has said that those things will be taken care of. I think that as part of what we will also pass today is also to make sure that in those aspects of the Constitution, because I've seen 2 or 3, where it says that the president will merely write a letter and take over, or merely write a letter to, no, we think that not just the president, but that power must also be shared with the National Assembly and the Senate in particular, just like we have done in state of emergency. Because we cannot have a situation where the president just looks at a state, maybe he's not in good terms with the governor, and decides that he will take it over. How would you go against that? So I think that we should look very much into that. The second and the last part of what I will look into is the question of funding. Today, we are aware that states have far more funding than before. But we also had a time in which states didn't have as much money, which means that he who pays the piper will also dictate the tune. So what we will have to ensure that we go into the act is that funds that will go to the state police commission must be guaranteed by the Constitution and go directly to the commission, so that what we are seeing today with regard to local government funds, we don't have to see it with the police, because if we do that, then for people like us who come from the southeast, where in 2 or 3 kilometers you see 10 checkpoints, you will now have 100 checkpoints by state people who will have to fend for themselves if they don't have the requisite funding. I support this bill, and I ask my colleagues to please also support it, provided we put the safeguards that we guarantee each Nigerian his rights. Thank you, Mr. President.
Concerns of all Nigerians since 1961. Even those of us who have been privileged to be in government know that no condition is permanent. And one day we'll leave government, and sometimes we, the leaders, we've also had the opportunity, starting from Senator Aliru, Senator Ojus Okalu, so many of us here, Senator Ome, those who are governorship makers, we've also had the opportunity of making governors who try everything to make sure that you don't even enter the states. And that time they had no state police. So now with state police, they can cordon off the entire state with your name in their hands. And if they see you, they may not even shoot you, but they may beat you to a point where nobody notices that they have been beaten. And at the end of the day, I can tell you that can lead to your death. So those concerns have been there. So I share your opinion, and I agree in total with you that we must put the necessary safeguards. Some of the governors who are here with us, even though they cannot contribute, they know that one day they will leave office, and their successors will either come in and cane them, like those who cane us, or come in and support them, like some of them are supporting their elders. Anytime we shout, build the youth, I also add the word, maintain the elders. So you have a situation whereby you bring in the youth to take over government, and you are building the youth. But what does the youth do? It does not only disrespect the elders, it canes the elders. And if there is state police, it can do so. But that notwithstanding, the current realities shows that if we have done something for 66 years, the same way, and it is not working, every community knows the bad eggs among them. In this Senate here, we know ourselves, and we know those who cannot sit in one place. So if you come in here, just ask the question. We know what each and every person can do. We know those who will bring constructive advice. We also know those who will bring advice that can lead to anarchy in this floor. It's the same thing all over the country. That is why state policing is important, but the safeguards are most crucial. Senator Tambua, I don't know what happened in your state when you left, but whether you were caned or you were maintained. Can you go home after state police?
Mr. President, I represent Sokoto South Senatorial District. From the onset, Mr. President, let me make it clear that I am in support of this bill, and I am in support of the idea of state police. I have been consistent on this, not only when I was in the House of Reps as Speaker and as Governor of Sokoto State, even while here in the Senate. In a number of interviews I granted, I alluded to the fact that I support state police because I believe that will also be a major leap into entrenchment of federalism in Nigeria. And Nigeria is a federation. Mr. President, only about 3-4 weeks ago, in my senatorial district, we lost over 80 people in Torita local government to bandits attack. Only 3-4 days ago, in the same local government, we lost some personnel of police that went there on rescue mission to send away bandits. So that is a clear picture of what is happening in most parts of the country. This is needed. Every effort, any effort that will ensure that we curb this menace of insecurity in Nigeria is needed. And it's on this note that I support this bill, and I urge my colleagues to support it, and I reinforce the concerns raised by Senator Abaribe. We must have safeguards that will now ensure that there is no abuse on the parts of those who are today in that position that we have left, and those who are coming, even those from amongst us, to those positions of being governors of particular states. I believe that as Senate of this country, we must ensure that we support Mr. President and we support the security agencies in every effort that will establish security in every part of this country. I so support Mr. President. Thank you.
Distinguished Senator Abaribe has raised a very important issue even though at your discretion you could allow that. To begin with, we are voting. At this point, you either vote yes or vote no. This is not the time to debate or propose amendment. But let me say that the amendment that you propose is already taken care of by clause 13. Clause
Mr.
13,
President,
which is the very next one.
this is totally wrong.
If I have your permission, I will read it. If I have your permission, I will read it.
Leader.
Yes, sir.
I want us. We started by invoking Order 1B.
Yes, sir.
Which is that in any situation not provided for by any extant regulation, including a standing order,
yes,
that the Senate shall regulate its procedure. So we are regulating our procedure because we want to make a law that would last for generations.
Very well, sir.
And we are not making a law to satisfy any human being.
Very well, sir.
We are making a law for Nigeria.
Very well,
so
sir.
if Senator Abaribe has an observation that is germane, we must take it. So
yes,
that's all.
Sir, we need to take, for a proper understanding.
Senator Abaribe.
Sir, I'm addressing the Senate, sir. I'm addressing the Senate. Sections 12 cannot be taken, subsection 12 cannot be taken in isolation from subsection 13. 12 says an intervention under subsection 10 of this section shall be authorized in writing by the President and shall state the ground, territory, functions, and duration of the intervention. And notice of the intervention shall be given to the Governor of the State, the Speaker of the House of Assembly of the State, the National Police Council, and the National Assembly within 48 hours of the start of any intervention. And now, sub 13 says no intervention under subsection 10 of this section shall continue beyond such period as may be, as may be prescribed by an act of the National Assembly, yes, unless approved by resolution of the Senate in the manner prescribed by this act. So this is not an unlimited power being given to the President.
What you are saying
is subject to the oversight of the National Assembly.
What you are saying is in line with reality.
Yes.
That in a situation where there is a total breakdown of law of order in any state or the Federation on a Saturday, and National Assembly is not sitting.
Yes.
We cannot wait for National Assembly to come on Monday or Tuesday. So the President must act. And thereafter inform the National Assembly.
Yes, that is what he said.
Those in support of that position say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The next clause. And one person has voted. One person, but he says he's constant, but it's still good for him to vote. Clause by clause, whether he's constant or not. He may change his mind towards the tail end. Clause 26, those in favor 89, those against 1, abstention nil. I thank everybody for the patience and for doing, even if we had 200 clauses, this is what the law expects us to do. And so we have to ensure that history will record us properly. I know you are all tired. I thank you for what you are doing. And I may now invite the leader of the Senate to move a motion that we report progress.
Chair, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate do now revert to plenary to enable the chairman report progress. I so move.
Yes, sir. President, sitting as chair, I second the motion that the Senate reverts to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so second.
Distinguished that this August Assembly now reverts to plenary for the chair to report progress. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. We revert to plenary for the chair to report progress.